So what?
What's new?
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
What's up with you?
Nothing. Oh shit.
Your microphone's all shitty, man.
What?
Your mic sounds like shit. Well, it sounds better now, but
In the party or on the stream?
I'm not watching your. Why would I be watching the stream?
I don't fucking know. I don't know why this is fucking up. Oh, we need to turn that mic up a little bit there. Hello? Let's turn it up all the way. That'd probably be good. Tomorrow, that fucking. Or not tomorrow, the next day, Godzilla comes out. Sons of bitches. Why can I not hear anything? What?
That's you, man, not me.
I don't know why he's fucking up. T61. I'd open a crate. I'll go with,
For some reason, I had 2 random crates just in my thing this morning.
was one of them a commander?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their monthly commander one. 5. I'll take the West Virginia out. No. No, wow.
Does Dad want to play, or is he watching him?
He's watching something. He might want to play. It's so fucking loud. The door's shut.
Is it?
Yes!
God, that is crazy.
I know. Jeez, dude.
You know,
What?
one mystery I want to know in Star Wars is, Rey in the new trilogy,
Yeah.
how she is Emperor Palpatine's granddaughter.
That's what she is.
Yeah, but they don't explain it at all.
Granddaughter.
Yeah, so it's like but he never had kids or anything. So like, how in the
Well,
fuck is that
technically,
possible?
Anakin's kind of his kid, isn't he? Because he went to there and he kind of manipulated. He got Padme. He got his mom pregnant through the.
In a sense,
Right.
that's in the comics, I think, though, but it's not canon.
Oh. Shmi. That sick fuck.
You know them dang Shmi.
Why the fuck did they name her the same as Captain Hook's fucking sidekick?
How was Rey Emperor Palpatine's granddaughter?
I can't believe that's what they did.
It doesn't even say.
We don't even know.
'Cause in order to be a granddaughter, you'd have to have a child, right? That's the only way you can have a grandkid.
Yeah?
Because if it's like your brother's kid, that's just like your second next.
Yeah, it's like your great niece or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Gorky.
I think that what's his name? Who did those movies?
Wasn't it Jerry Bruckheimer?
No.
JJ?
No. Yes, that asshole.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be just blacklisted and just canceled.
Yeah, he really
ruined
fucked it
Star
up.
Wars. He did a good job with Star Trek, though. I enjoyed Star Trek.
Yeah. Transformers was good too.
Ruined it. He didn't do
No, that was Michael Bay, my bad.
Mm-hmm. Michael Bay, yeah, the first two were decent, were good, and then the third one was okay, and then the other two were just fucking dumb.
They were getting just crazy with.
Yeah, once they went digital with it and made them all, like, literally made them able to turn into, like, digital pixels, and
Yeah.
it just got stupid at that point.
Right. The humans were making Transformers. It was.
Yeah. That's they're rebooting it with to a different, like, because apparently there was like a different comic or a different series, like, where they were all animals,
Yeah.
and they're going with that. They're starting forward with that.
They kind of do that in the one. They show the dinosaurs,
Yeah.
which that's badass. When Optimus Prime wakes them all up, he has to fight the one. And he ends up riding it. That was sweet.
Yeah.
But
The story, well, the last one I already just finished.
yeah, I didn't really understand what they were about. They were just about the
exactly.
robots
The
fighting.
last three. The first three made sense because they were, in correlation with each other.
And then all of a sudden, Mark Wahlberg was in it, and I was like, "What is going on?"
He took over at 4 and 5. He was in 4 and 5.
Because of LaBouffe.
Yeah, LaBouffe fouled out.
Oh, it was Bouffer that quit. They didn't fire him.
Yeah, I think he was just done.
Shit. This little destroyer is gonna fuck me up.
I don't think they brought him back because of what was going on in his personal life for any cameo shit,
Right.
But Sam Witwicky, like, in the old cartoons, like, that was like they're human, so you can't get rid of.
I never
That's
really
where they
watched the
should've
old
just
cartoons.
redone
I didn't like how in the cartoons they had like real faces. It was weird.
The robots.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of have real faces in this one.
Yeah. Because they're not robots technically. They're aliens.
Yeah.
I wish.
Starting to think, like, if we started treating Earth just like a spaceport, and just starting, building huge spacecrafts and just abandoning this planet.
Well, that's I think the goal. It's they can't really figure it out. How to travel to other places. Everything is just really far away.
Yeah. Because if they can figure out, like, hyperspace travel.
Like they can go that fast. Our bodies can't.
Yeah, we'd have to be in a We
With nuclear power, they can go. We We can go as fast as we want.
Well, once you're in space, once you hit that speed, it's just slowing down at that point.
Right. There's that too.
Yeah, you don't have to keep consistent power going.
Doesn't matter, she's not supposed to leave him at all.
But that's where we don't have enough, like, well, I guess that is what we're doing now, charting out stars and maps and stuff like that, because we do have to have a very good astro chart in order to make jumps like that, you know? We know where all the fucking stars and asteroids and all those projected destinations are going to be in, fucking,
Yeah.
you know, 20 minutes or whatever light years and speed and time and all that shit.
Where is the audio input capture? We gotta put a sound suppression on this fucking thing so. Alright. It uses more CPU, but I'm not playing games on the computer.
Is, what's his name still planning on going to Mars?
Musk, yeah.
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 I thought we were already supposed to have boots on there next year. His original projection was like
It's
2020.
2024 right now. Well, when Trump was in, he like NASA was with him, and everything was space. Space Force was starting, and then
Trump was working with Musk.
what?
Trump was working with Musk.
I'm not necessarily working with them, but when the government is pro space, it makes everything a lot easier. You know, getting
Sure.
the necessary funds and resources and manpower. And then when, you know, that's what happened after the Apollo missions. That fucking president came into office that didn't like space and we stopped
That's the
going.
next frontier. You know what I mean? Like that's what we have to. We have to stop thinking about, you know, conquering Earth, which has already been conquered, and start conquering unknown planets and asteroids and.
Elon Musk said, "Earth is the cradle of human life, but like every living thing, you must leave the cradle." So,
In the bigger picture, you know.
right.
Very big picture.
I mean, he's all about colonizing Mars and the moon. Which, I mean,
We have to make our foothold out there. What we need is honestly a massive space station with operational weapons and stuff like that. So that way we can shoot asteroids and shit like that from hitting us.
well, we already have
Hitting the
that.
space station.
We have planetary defense systems, and that's
No,
what
I'm talking
NORAD.
about our like a space station defense right on our space station.
Right. Well, when we can end up going to the moon and back in like a day, then we'll be doing that kind of shit. But right now, it takes like 3 months.
I don't know why we haven't started like a huge construction program, and you know what I mean, to make a small moon.
Well, that's what.
Because that's what we need. We need
The-
a base in space.
they're
A base
talking
enough where
about-
we can actually walk around.
They want to try to pull like asteroids into our orbit, and then we can mine them and then push them back out into space. Once we've mined all the precious.
Asteroid mining.
What?
Asteroid mining.
Yeah. They've already landed. They landed a rover on an asteroid. They did it. It was it was crazy, but
That was a couple years ago now.
So I mean, they obviously got people that can do the math. There was a plan to nuke the moon to get in there and mine resources.
The moon?
Yeah,
What resources are on the moon?
there's all kinds of elements in the moon that aren't on Earth. Like what the fuck is
What if
it?
that's where technology came from? The moon.
The first
There's elements
swords.
in the rocks.
The first swords in like Europe and stuff, that they were so rare because they could only be made from where comets struck the Earth. That's what they were thought to have, like magical powers and shit. That's why they got names like Excalibur. And there was only usually like one real steel sword in a village. I can't remember what exactly it is. Why it had to come from a because of the minerals and the kind of shit that's in it.
Well, I'm guessing that's just where a lot of our steel deposits and stuff like that came from. Is just comets hitting our Earth, our planet over thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
And that's what built our core. It's getting constantly blasted. But you would think we would have gotten hit again in the last couple hundred years. You would think we've had a massive impact of some sort of.
Yeah.
Didn't a big
Well,
crater hit
they a lot of
Mexico?
they
New
do
Mexico?
hit Earth. They just don't make it past our atmosphere. Our atmosphere burns it up. We have a very thick atmosphere.
So perhaps at the time our atmosphere wasn't as thick, allowing things to get through a lot easier.
Well, the one that hit us that killed the dinosaurs was like the size of Texas. Like
Isn't that what supposedly created the atmosphere?
I don't it no I don't know. The atmosphere is a buildup of greenhouse gases from all the vegetation on Earth. So if you get rid of too much of it, it'll deplete.
I see. So just early days, we just didn't have a lot of vegetation, so there just wasn't much of an ozone.
Yeah. Or something like that. Yeah, I read a thing that Earth was like extremely volcanic in its first stages.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Apparently, life began on Earth, and then there was a global extinction, and then life began again. We're the second phase of life. Apparently, there was already life once, and it had been wiped out. How they can tell that, I don't know. It's just,
But who's to say they weren't wiped out completely? There could have been just a close to global extinction. You know what I mean? And that's what took so long to regain foothold, is because fucking
right.
95% of the world was wiped out.
Right, it's sea life keeps really rewriting history because they keep finding sea life that has thought to been extinct since like the Jurassic period, and it's off the coast of Spain.
The deeper we get,
Yeah,
and just the more we explore. That's the other thing too. The ocean. That's another front too. But we're destroying the ocean. Like literally, it's warming up so fast, and we're losing so much of the Great Barrier Reef. And pretty like, I'm terrified when we're like 50 or 70 years old if we live that long.
yeah. We probably won't live on the ground anymore.
Constantly on fire.
Everything will be in the upper cities. If you live on the ground, you
100%.
you have a risk of being raped or mugged daily by feral humans.
Right, feral. The cannibals.
Yeah, the ones that they just said fuck it and left them.
Well, think about the way things are going. Like if shipments were to stop and produce and just like the grocery stores weren't available to people and people were starving, like I'm sure cannibalism would become a thing quickly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. The expansion west in the United States, cannibalism was a little just too frequent. The Donner
Because we're out in
Party.
the desert and shit.
Well, not even that. They get like they had to make it like they had to leave in spring by a certain time because if you left too late, you would get stuck in the mountains in winter, and there would with like 10 feet of snow, you'd be fucked. And there was only like two established trails. There was the main Oregon Trail, and there was another one that went to California. And look up the Donner Party. It's a very famous group of like settlers that went west, and it ended very badly for them. Very just murders and people just eating each other, and yeah.
Apparently there was a movie.
You can go to the site where they some of them survived. You can go to the site where they tried to stick it out. It's like a national historic site now.
Yeah, they spent a year trying to survive in the Sierra mountain range in Nevada.
Yep. You wouldn't think it would be the cold, but it's in the mountains.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, first you have to kill all the cattle and then, like, horses, then you have to kill your pets, and then you try to kill the work hands you brought. They didn't kill any of the humans. They ate ones that were already dead. Except a couple. One guy did. He killed the lady. It was further later found out that he did kill her because he was hungry.
Apparently, that second passing, there was two, the Oregon Trail, and then
Yeah.
there was the that was a it was a it was false information.
Well,
It
no,
wasn't
the
actually
guy that
true.
made the trail, wasn't a very established trail. The guy that made it, he was trying to find the Donner Party to tell them, like, don't continue down that trail. It's not, it's not safe. And he couldn't find them. He just gave up, went back east. Because the government was like paying people to, find trails for people. They were giving people 160 acres each if they'd move out west. And they'd give you people to work your land, and farm equipment. Australia did the same thing. Australia has this weirdest, like, when World War One ended and all the people came home, all the soldiers came home from World War One back to Australia. They gave them all like a bunch of farmland to work, and they wanted them to start moving west. And as they did it, and they planted all their fields, 20,000 emus, like, just came in out of the wild and just like bred and bred. They literally had to bring the military in, and it was called the Emu War. It's still going on. Are you agreeing with the Donner Party? Yeah, it's twisted shit. Really makes you thankful for what we live in now. Those poor bastards. Well, if that shit interests you, man, you should download that app I listen to. It's called Time Suck. When he first started, they were about hour-long episodes. Now they're about 2.5 hours, which I love. Dad, I have this CD.
Show 'em what we've got,
Jesus, out of 14 people, 7 made it back, and the other 7 were eaten.
Yeah.
Out of the entire party, once they get down to cannibalism, it was that small of a group.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started eating motherfuckers quick. Well, they were the ones that died of starvation or just
Right.
couldn't make it. It's not like they were murdering. They
Yeah.
were just eating it dead. There was probably like not much meat even on those bodies
I
they
know.
were eating.
I know.
God, that's gotta suck.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Eating your buddy. Do you ever watch the movie Snowpiercer?
No.
That's a good movie. It's the whole world like had a ice age, and they just built like a huge like train, and it's just constantly just going around this track, and
What?
yeah, and all the rich people live in it, and that's just where the rich people live, but in the back containers, there's stowaways. And in the early days, the rich people wouldn't feed them or even acknowledge them really, so they were eating each other.
Oh my
And
god.
then, yeah, eventually the rich people started giving them these like jelly pucks of food, and they started eating those, and then they end up trying to like take over the train, and they find out what those pucks are, and it's a bunch of grinded up cockroaches.
What?
Yeah, turned into these jelly pucks that they've been eating. It's fucked up. The Captain America is the main guy in it. It's a good movie. I think it's on Hulu.
Is that a Stephen King?
It might be, but it's solid. Just because it's fucked up. Yeah, so there's this guy, he's got like one leg and one arm, and you learn it's because he saved a little kid's life, and he just chopped his own arm off, or let them chop his arm off and let them eat him instead of killing the little kid. And then he chops his leg off to feed somebody else.
Good God.
Yeah. They made there's a TV show, but it was a book, and then it was a movie, and then there's a TV show now. I haven't watched the TV show,
There's some dude that's just a torso. Yep. Oh, done with me. There's an island in Russia called Cannibal Island. And when Stalin wanted people in the Soviet Union to move south, I think it was southeast. I think it was towards Ukraine, actually. If they wouldn't do it, he'd just move them all to this island, and they just wouldn't feed them. So, like, they were, like, eating people, but they, didn't want to kill them, so, like, they cut their, like, tits off and their butt cheeks and, like, shaved their fucking... It was fucked up. Stalin's a sick fuck. Cannibal Island. I died.
It's Massachusetts is fucking me up.
I'll be right back.
To find a violent convict continues. You've heard about this?
Okay. Am I even close yet? I guess so.
Doing the Normandine.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Normandy or the Normandine?
Normandy.